For more on today's agreement and on the state of American-Russian relations, we are joined tonight by Nina Kruscheva. She is the granddaughter of the former Soviet leader Nikita Kruschev and is a professor at the New School here in New York City. Welcome.
Thank you.
What do you make of the announcement today that this new arms framework has been worked out?
It's very positive. It is the agreement that is needed by both countries. By Barack Obama, it was his major foreign policy success. And for the Russians, it is a very necessary agreement because Russia cannot really sustain the nuclear arsenal it has acquired over the years, and it needs a reduction, but it also needs to put good faith in it. So they are working with Americans on that. So it gives them an opportunity to look important and like partners with the United States.
What about the missile defense shield system, which the United States has been backing? Is that still a problem hanging out there?
It is a problem hanging out, and that's why, as you know, Russians were waiting until the last minute today to announce that some wording was worked out about the nuclear missile agreement. Certainly it is a problem, but they very much appreciate the fact that Barack Obama is not charging on forward with this decision, and very cautious about the fact that it will work only if it tests well and it proves its significance. And Russians do listen to this kind of diplomatic language and are willing to recognize and make concessions.
Here's a question for you. It's been 20 years since the end of the Cold War. How would you classify Russia today?
Russia is an authoritarian system with various democratic possibilities and opportunities. But as it was in the Soviet times, the power is still structured from the Kremlin down, with two people in power, although I think Vladimir Putin does take precedence over Medvedev, and it has moved on, though. I mean, it's not entirely planned, it's not entirely unfree and whatnot. So it has an opportunity to develop further, but Russia hasn't decided yet what it wants. I mean, one day it wants to be the West, one day it doesn't want to be the West. And I think as long as Russia is conflicted about it, it will be very hard for it to move forward.
And how do you think Russians look at President Obama?
They also conflicted. I mean, Russians are very conflicted people. They love him. He has this incredible celebrity quality. Russians, like everybody else, look at him as the new John Kennedy, and they really appreciate the young face of American leadership and the change and the hope message that he represents. But also Russians are very suspicious of young leaders, because Russian leaders has never been that young, and even Medvedev, who is younger than the previous leaders, Russians do not consider to be fully in charge. So there is a little bit of suspicion going on, and I think also Russia has this kind of idea that somebody who looks as the other, it's also kind of a questionable issue. Although I wouldn't say that it's very important in their perception of Obama, but his blackness certainly come into play. Otherwise,
I was going to ask you that, and I wanted to be very delicate about it. Is race a factor in any way with some Russians?
It is, but not in an American sense. It's not the slavery problem. It's a problem of anybody who is the other, somebody who is not like us. And I think that is a factor. So it's not Barack Obama's blackness. It's not that he's not blue-eyed and blonde-haired. Because that's what the way American president's supposed to look.
We have to end it there. Nina Kruscheva, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.